Hello, Prinny here, back with another video. There's been a lot of new interest in sort of convallaria due to the Witcher 3 collab, which makes sense. And I was inspired to make this video because of a comment I saw that um, was reminiscent of something that was said when the game first launched, and I feel like, you know, if someone's wondering if game is good to be playing as like a free-to-play or low casual spender, I feel that it does stand out, which I'm gonna go over. I do have a previous video I did like this back with the Glitching and Dungeon, but I believe I was less skilled, and I wouldn't call myself very professional now, but doing videos I got better set up than then. Um, but first off, the criticism that I heard, which I heard back then, is that um, like a lot of gotchas, when you pull a legendary, if you're pulling from a banner, there's a 50% chance you'll get the character on that banner, and 50% chance you'll get characters from a general pool. So in this one case, there's a 50% chance you'd get Geralt. And in some other games, if you miss the 50-50, you would have gotten Geralt. You could have gotten Geralt, but you didn't. Then the next time you get a legendary, it's guaranteed to be Geralt. And then so at first glance, the fact that that sort of Convallaria doesn't do that might seem a little regressive, not as friendly. But sort of Convallaria does a lot of stuff different to make it actually more generous than games that copy that strategy. I mean, I'm not a big gacha player. This is the longest I've played a gacha. The few ones I played didn't last me as long. Um, didn't keep my interest as long. I either reached as far as I could get in the game without it getting repetitive, without much to look forward to, or I just felt the game wasn't worth my time in the first place. One thing that is important to point out, um, so the soft pity is what I call it, and a lot of people call it, where you're guaranteed to get legendary if you go long enough before getting legendary, is 100. I don't know how that ranks in the gacha as a whole, but I do remember playing another gacha where the soft pity is 70, so it would seem like, oh, okay, that's more generous. Until you start doing the math, like the chance of getting legendary is 2% overall probability, which means on average you will get a legendary every 50 pulls, which that has borne out in my experience. I rarely had to go to pity to get a legendary, but the other game I was talking about where the soft pity was 1%, was was 70 pulls, only had a 1% legendary pull rate. So that means 1 in every 100 pulls on average. So when I was playing, I was going to 70 pulls every time. I never had it where I did a random pull and then I got a legendary. I mean, I'm sure if I played it long enough, eventually that will happen. But I've gotten multiple characters that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten because I just did a YOLO pull and got a copy. With Agatha, I did a YOLO pull and actually got 2 copies, so that was pretty amazing. But also at that time, I believe that I had hit my pull rate was actually falling below 2%, and it hasn't been confirmed by the developers, but there is um, an observation that no one falls below 2% without getting a pull. So it's believed that they, even if you have really bad luck, in spite of the soft pity being 100 pulls, it won't let you fall below 2%. But the fact that you get characters before soft pity, like, you end up getting more legendaries, and then so you tend to get your legendary without going to hard pity, because you miss your 50-50 at 70 pulls, but then you get it at 140 pulls. Well, hard pity in this game, where you're guaranteed to get the character, is 180 pulls, so that's not too far off. And unlike that game, every character, if you don't get a character, they get added to the general pool, and there's no like premium banner, like no premium currency, because the other game not only did characters did not go into the general pool in order to even have a chance at getting those banner characters, usually good meta characters. You had to build up the premium currency, the premium pool currency. Not paid for, but I mean, like, talking about pity and such. Like, if it takes you longer to get 70 pulls versus 100 pulls, it doesn't really matter that the soft pity is less generous. Like, I believe without like with reoccurring free to play luck site, I believe on average it's around 70 to 80 pulls a month. So you're more than likely you're going to get a legendary every month. And as free to play, you can since characters come out twice a month, that's on average every other character. And then so if you skip a couple characters, then maybe you can pull multiple in session. And that's part of how I got so much luck site as free to play players, because the combination of having good luck and saving my luck site for characters that I really wanted just over the year and change. Just slowly built up more characters, more luck site. And a lot of the characters I did skip actually got off banner, and they're even 5 stars now. Like Karis, it's not considered like a particularly high tier now, but she was pretty good when she came out, but I had to skip her because I was slow on luck site. I wanted to save for a different character, and then shortly after I skipped her, I got her off banner, and I didn't have anyone else to star up at that time. Anyone else I really needed to star up, so I ended up starring up to 5 stars. And she's definitely been very useful in certain maps, and she's lost a little bit of her shine since SP Samantha came out. But they do actually have some synergy with each other, so having Karis at 5 stars, even now I occasionally get to use her. And that's the other thing that sort of convallaria does that the other gotchas I didn't do, that I ever played didn't do. And that is letting you star up units through farming. You only need one copy of a character to eventually get them to 5 star if you choose to spend your limited farming slots doing so. I mean, it takes a while, but you're able to do it. Whereas, and oftentimes good characters are good at lower stars. They're just obviously not as good. Whereas in other gotchas, sometimes a key ability that really pulls a character's kit together doesn't actually uh, kick into effect until like they're like 3 stars or whatever, um, 3 or 4 stars, and there's no way to farm them up outside of getting additional copies. So not only do you have to try to get the one copy of the character, if you want to actually have their to be usable, you have to pull a couple extra copies and probably get their weapon, which um, more recently imprints have been kind of geared towards the character they're for. Like forget the Witcher weapons, which are basically only really usable on the character they're made for. But Lukema, like her imprint, uh, it's like this wording so specific where it doesn't act, even though it doesn't actually say use Lukema's skill, and then this happens. It's so specific that who knows if we'll ever get a swords user that will meet those criteria, or if we do, if it's even good for them. Instead, you know, Shield of Justice is still considered one of the best imprints, and it's usable for pretty much anybody. You're only limited on how many you can manage to get, rather than, oh well, this person isn't very Shield of Justice isn't good for this person. No, it's good for pretty much everyone. Like maybe in certain cases there will be another option that's a little bit better. But the fact that you're not pigeonholing. Okay, I got pulled this character, multiple copies of this character, then I got pulled their weapon, multiple copies of that weapon, and uh, oh, I didn't get enough copies, so I have to now wait until and save up pools until the next time they're running their banner again. It's really designed to squeeze you as much as possible, because if you don't get it now, you don't know when you're going to get it again. Whereas, I'll let me give you another example. When Raleigh, SP, and Tristan were coming out, people were talking about how Tristan was a little bit better than Raleigh, SP. So ultimately, I decided to skip Raleigh, SP. I did like a couple pulls for, I think, just some yellow pulls, and I skipped to Tristan, and then I pulled for Tristan, and then got SP Raya, and I had to make a decision. Like, okay, well, this is a character that's pretty good at DPS, not as good as Tristan, but I also wanted to save pulls for Kavare and SP Safi. Um, so I ended up skipping Tristan, and I actually felt a little bit regret later, because I was seeing people doing these certain strategies with Tristan that I didn't have it. And SP Raria is definitely a very strong character, but she's not the sort of character that can go up to an enemy that would one-shot any other character and hold them off for 2 rounds and while doing a bunch of damage. But of course, I did end up getting Tristan off banner and farmed her up, and now she's a 4-star beast. And actually, in my guild, someone asked like how many 5-star units did we have, and even though I was strictly free to play, I ended up being the person with the most 5-stars, and that wasn't because I was super lucky necessarily. but rather because I was pulling for less characters overall, I had less competition for my farming slots. Like, if you pull every character, um, and you want to get them like the 3-star, because a lot of characters 3-star is a threshold for some of their abilities. Like, they're not useless at lower stars, and they don't suddenly become like god tier at 3 stars. Like, their kit doesn't come together, but they still have um, like Yisurende. She can gain energy whenever one of her um, daggers are triggered. And if you are not 3-star, she gets kind of energy starved. Even with 3-star, you know, you have to be cognizant of how much energy she's having. But you know, she still be useful at lower stars because there are plenty of characters like Tyr um, who you can restore her energy. Credenza too. I don't have Credenza. Um, uh, but so like you can make up for a lower star character with synergy other units. I mean, Tyr, for example, his meditation buff. I think it's called meditation. You know, it can affect multiple allies, so it's not like you're bringing it just for her. You're helping everyone out. And then once she gets 3-star, you still might need extra energy depending on your build for her. What skills you're using, if you're constantly putting down daggers. You know, you won't have enough energy for Endless Web if you're not trying to pick up the daggers, because sometimes on some maps you want to keep putting down daggers and not pick them up because the coverage they give. That's a little bit of tangent, but another nice thing is that they don't require you to use your pools for weapons. You can use them, of course, but you are able to get for free by doing events. Oops. Those are called astral imprints, I think. Astro shards. And I never pull on weapon banners, but I got several imprints just by spending these. I've got 5-star Shield of Justice, a 5-star Pamina Spear, 5-star Nightmare Puppets, 5-star Ceph ESP stuff, and you know, if I get lucky, this 1,000 shards, you know, that's right there is a another 5-star. So it's really, I feel that it's not the case that this game isn't generous to free-to-play. In fact, I'd say they are pretty generous. Um, so I believe that's all I want to say for this video. I'm thinking about creating another video about a different subject, and so I'd rather end this video and then start again if in that case. So thank you for watching the video. Have a great day.